And good morning. Welcome to the Out and About show today. Focus on Stafford County on 1590 KVGB. I'm your host, Steve Webster, as we once again talk about a lot of the great things going on to the county to the south of us in Stafford County. Joining us once again, Carolyn Dunn, the Director of Economic Development for Stafford County, and also in Stafford County Eco Devo, we've got Program Director Sydney Blanton on the program today. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Well, thanks. Good to be here.
I was giving you guys look nice today. I mean, I appreciate you dressing up for the show.
Steve always knows how to make a gal feel good.
Yeah, I always get off to a good...
I like to say we didn't really try, but it's always an effort.
This is just normal day for it. Anyways, great to see you guys back up here again. Caroline, it's something we'll start off with talking about. We talked about it on the show last week, and now it's almost here. This is a big day.
Yes.
Coming up on Sunday, it'll be the open house on the duplex in Maxville. About the process, it started, over a year ago at least, and longer than that. It'll be held Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Tell me about the event. I know you got to be really excited about this.
Well, we are. We're happy to show what it is to the public, whether or not someone's interested in renting or buying a place. We hope that you'll come by just to see what we have and see also an example of what's to come as we continue building throughout the county. But we want to show what we have here. They're each 3-bedroom, 2.5 baths. There's 2,080 square feet per side. So they're nice, spacious places that would accommodate a family really nicely. They have some energy efficient features like on-demand hot water heaters and an open modern floor plan with a nice vaulted ceiling in the living room and kitchen area. So if you're looking for a Sunday outing on Sunday, it's a nice way maybe to have a diversion on a Sunday afternoon.
When was the last time you had new housing in Stafford County?
Well, I have looked at records from the appraiser's office talking about when structures of this type were built before, and the last time that just a moderate income duplex was built in Maxville was 1948, I believe.
Just a few years ago.
Yeah. Well, the average house age in Stafford County is 85 years old. It's part of where you can kind of see why there is a demand for additional housing. We just haven't had a lot of investment in new housing for quite some time. I think the statistic is that 3% of our housing inventory is less than 20 years old. So again, we just haven't had as much construction of new housing as they've had in more urban areas for, a few generations.
Yeah, a few generations. This is something this just isn't something that's taking place in Stafford County. We've talked about it. It's a problem everywhere. And to see Stafford County do something about it and take the first step was a pretty neat deal.
Well, thanks. It's baby steps.
What
but
do people in
something.
Maxville think about this? This is going to be kind of cool. You got new buildings in town.
Well, I hope there's some good chatter about it. If there's bad chatter, they haven't told me.
Okay, where's this going to be held at?
The duplex is located at 124-130 South Higgins, which is just one block south of Highway 50 on Higgins Street. It's not too hard to find in Maxville.
Okay. Sunday from 2 to 5, October 26th. That has nothing to do with the show today, but I usually get off and say, yeah, I went to kindergarten and first grade in Maxville. I just thought you wanted to know that down there. All the people, I remember that rotten kid. We're glad we got him out of town. Okay, I want to talk to you about another program, Bike and Build. Tell me about Bike and Build and the grant that you were able to come up with.
Well, this was a little bit of news that was just kind of uplifting, I think, in the last couple weeks. We got a grant from an organization that's based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's called Bike and Build. And, it was kind of just happenstance that I even knew about the grant opportunity back in June or whatever that we applied for it. It wouldn't have happened if Sydney hadn't been following just news about healthy living, active communities, and doing all the things that she does as the program director, putting information on Facebook. She came across this organization called Bike and Build, and what they do is they sponsor Well, they have, I'll take from some of their information. They have 8 cross-country routes where approximately 32 riders team up and pedal from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific along the way, stopping in hundreds of communities to build with local housing affiliates like Stafford County Economic Development and advocate for increased availability of affordable housing. Well, the people that do these bike routes, before they start their bike routes, also do a bunch of fundraising, and it makes funds available for them to be able to give grants. And so we applied for one of those grants. They did come through Kansas. They didn't stop in do any construction projects in Kansas over the past summer, but they did stop as an overnight trip in Dodge City. So I went out and gave a presentation about what's going on in Stafford County, just kind of that dilemma of rural housing and how investment's difficult. And we got a grant. So and we just found out about it this week. And that was just kind of fun. We're also talking with them about, hey, looking to next summer, would you consider coming to Stafford County and helping us on our next project? Because this funding will go toward our next duplex construction project. I can envision, several things that group might be able to help us do, and it might be constructing sidewalks as a part of some of the healthy communities work that Sydney oversees, and helping build a good community through some of that kind of work. I mean, it may not have to be housing specific.
What was the grant for? I mean, how much?
It's not a huge grant, but every part can turn. It's $7,500 grant. So
well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
You've gone along the whole time telling me we're going to build this one job at a time,
and we haven't fully reached our capital goal for our second duplex. We're a good way there, but we're not totally there. So we are continuing to, try to access whatever we can so that we can build it. We've operated without debt, and I think that's a really strong way to approach this. So we want to continue doing it in that manner to the extent we can. So it means that we still have to do fundraising. This kind of stuff does help. It gets us closer to the goal.
Yeah, continue to sell the tax credits. That's what made the housing development in Maxville possible.
That's true. And we do still have tax credits available. A slightly different program, but they will be able to contribute to this next project. They're 75% tax credits, and you could call our office at 620-549-3527. To find out more about that, or to work with us in getting access to one of those tax credits. But we're kind of coming into the time of the year when people are doing some tax planning, so it's maybe a good thing to consider, I guess, to just kind of give a review of how they work. For I'll use a round number, every $1,000 of contribution given to economic development, or in this case, we're working with the Kansas Center for Entrepreneurship. For every $1,000 that is contributed, the donor can reduce the income tax due to the state of Kansas by $750. And then also, because it is a contribution to a 501c3 nonprofit, on the federal level, the contribution is also tax deductible. So, it's one of those things I have to give the caveat that everyone's tax situation is unique, and check with your tax advisor. But I do think it's fair to say that all in all, you pretty much have a wash. You're giving a contribution to the local effort that is roughly equivalent to what you'd be paying in taxes anyway. So it's a nice way to be able to help us continue progress here locally. And, it really didn't cost you anything other than what you'd otherwise be paying anyway.
Carolyn Dunn with us from Stafford County Economic Development. Sydney Blanton also in with us, Program Director for Stafford County EcoDevo. We'll take a break. We'll have more of today's show. Focus on Stafford County coming your way right after this.
It's the $10,000 Shop at Home for the Holidays giveaway. Next Tech Wireless, the place to be today. Lindsay, you guys were serving up some chili last week.
We did. We served up some chili, and we came out victorious. We came out with the second place team division.
Well, way to go. The annual chili feed that took place down around the courthouse square last Saturday, and of course this Saturday, Zubu. Man, you guys are busy this time of year.
We enjoy it. The team has fun getting out in the community. Zubu, of course, coming up. We have our theme picked out. We think the kids will enjoy it. We've got a lot of goodies to hand out.
And I know next week week. You guys are also helping out with a special fundraiser called Dialing for Dollars with Sunflower Diversified Services. Always fun stuff happening. Today, you got to get in here before 5, get yourself qualified for the $10,000 Shop at Home for the Holidays giveaway. And you guys have got some great specials right now. Folks just need to come by and check it out.
You need to come check it out. Unlimited everything, $60 a month.
Wow, can't go wrong. 10th and Grand is the place, just west of Walmart in Great Bend. Come on by and see us here during the $10,000 Shop at Home for the Holidays giveaway.
Jake Waters was splendid today, going on the road, his first game starting at Norman. Great win for the Wildcats.
What the Baylor loss means for the Big 12 is it's wide open right now, but I believe that TCU has the best opportunity to win the conference. The reason why, they have to travel to West Virginia, but they get Kansas State at home.
They have the heart of a champion, and champions find a way to win games when the chips are on the table.
ESPN Radio, nights and weekends only on 1590 KVGB. Welcome back. Focus on Stafford County this morning here on 1590 KVGB. Carolyn Dunn and Sydney Blanton in for the program today. Sydney has been working on some different projects, and I'm going to bring in Sydney right now, the old Wichita State Shocker right now. And it's always good to see you. You didn't come down here last week. You hurt my feelings, by the way, or last month.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Organizing some healthy cooking classes. Those are coming up soon. Tell me about these things, Sydney.
We applied for a grant through the American Heart Association to host 3 to 4 Get Active type events and 3 cooking classes. So this fall, we're going to have 3 cooking classes, 1 in Stafford, 1 in St. John, and 1 in Maxville. And the goal is we are making a strong push to educate the county on the need to eat healthy and get active. So we really want to help families form that habit and help parents teach their kids to start eating healthier and getting more active in fun, creative ways. So these healthy classes are focused on that, and we are partnering with the Kansas State Research and Extension to put them on. It's a great opportunity, and we already have 1 class that's pretty much full, and that's in St. John.
So I can't come down and give you my recipe for biscuits and gravy and sausage casserole and things like that, probably. But
maybe if you make it healthier.
Well, yeah, I know. I probably would be going to these classes. I know that. Now, so you got 1 in St. John, and there's going to be others besides just this one then?
Yes.
Okay.
In the month of November. So contact me because you can register, and it's free to anyone and everyone. And we will, if people request, we'll provide free babysitting too. So.
Stafford County Eco Devo. You can find their website. You do a great job on that.
www.staffordecodevo.com. We also update Facebook very regularly, which is it's also Stafford Eco Devo is our
Facebook /Stafford Eco Devo.
Now, Sydney, what do you do during the class? I mean, I know there's been an extension outreach to elementary kids and with some of the things that you've done with entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. Are those things going on this year, some type of programs that you're doing?
Yes, we are still doing youth entrepreneurship in Stafford and St. John. So stay tuned because we will be coming up with some businesses soon and would like to sell to you candles and hot cocoa this year.
Okay. What did you do last year? You had
same thing.
Okay. All right. Well, I remember we had the kids up here and they came on to tell us about it.
Those were dog treats.
Dog treats. Okay, that's what. All right. That's right. We had the dog treats going on with those have been very successful on getting kids involved. I know this has been a big push for you, Carolyn, entrepreneurship, but not only for getting them at a young level, at a young age.
Right. I think it kind of, I don't know. Sometimes you hear people as adults that say, I've always been interested in such and such. So if you can catch them at that age that they're interested in it and help them know how they can develop that and so forth, I think that, well, we just want them to know that those opportunities can exist if they choose.
You just can't wait till the first person that started this program as a 5th grader comes in and starts a company that employs about 200 people, right?
I would love for that story to happen in Stafford County.
I would love it. Me too. And I already have heard kids that will start to make little comments about something that represents a business idea.
You got them
They're-
thinking about it at a young age. That is really neat. We're going to take one more break. We'll be back for our final segment of today's show. Right after this, it's Focus on Stafford County on 1590 KVGB.
KVGB Radio invites you to join our discussion on the next hour of wellness information. The program, Health Information Please, Saturday morning in the 9 o'clock hour here on 1590. Brought to you by Hayes Med. Join the discussion. Call in your questions to our guest, Brian Noon, registered nurse and director of the Sleep Institute at Hayes Med. Sleep concerns? Call and get the answers you need with our guest, Brian Noon, Saturday morning on Health Information Please on KVGB.
Your home for Panther football is 1590 KVGB.
This is Patrick Burnett. Join me and football analyst Jason Perry for district game number 2 as the Panthers hit the road to take on the Salina Central Mustangs. Our pregame show begins at 6 with the K-Preps pregame show Friday. Panther football brought to you in part by Cooper Production Products, the 10th Street Eye Care Center, Murphy Family Enterprises, BNS Electric and Security, Grove Chiropractic and Sports Injury, Rayburn Regional Hospital, and Advanced Therapy and Sports Medicine.
1590 KVGB is your home for all the news in Central Kansas.
Well, one of the issues that I'm seeing is sentences are becoming longer. Things that do go to trial, and granted it's just one, but if you have a homicide case, that guy may be in jail 2 years before we get to trial, before I can release him to DOC.
KVGB News is brought to you by Abby's Best Buy Carpet Outlets, Till & Associates, Marmy Ford, Marmy Chrysler, Home Lumber, Keller Real Estate, Nicholson, Rickey, and Bryant Funeral Homes, and by Ralph Baird Motors in Larned.
We're back. Focus on Stafford County today on 1590 KVGB. Carolyn Dunn, Sydney Blanton in with us from Stafford County Economic Development. And Sydney, I want to ask you about we talked about healthy cooking classes, but what's going on with mapping the towns of St. John and Stafford for your bike and walk improvements? How's that going?
Yes, so we are doing this huge push of active transportation. So we are focusing on the environment around us to support our active transportation efforts. So if we want to walk to work or bike to school, are there sidewalks to do that, or is there enough room on the streets to safely do that? Do we need bike lanes or better sidewalks? And so in our effort, we are planning out St. John and Stafford, but we're doing it in a different way than normal. It's not going to be a huge plan of the town, but we're planning certain routes that we have found through our surveys that the community members want us to focus on. So we're planning one route in St. John and one route in Stafford. And from that, we'll have a map that shows what the route looks like now and what it can look like in the future with these changes and cost estimates. So then we can have a better sense of what it's going to cost us and how we can do that in certain little amounts, a little bit this year and a little bit next year.
Now, are these going to be bike paths, or will it incorporate the, existing streets and things that are already in place?
Mm-hmm. It's going to incorporate what's in place, so connect maybe one sidewalk to the next, or include bike lanes if the street is wide enough, or sharrows. Now, everyone knows what a bike sharrow is, but essentially it's an arrow on the road showing that bikers are using that as well. So just give room for the bikers.
I'd heard sharrows, but I didn't really know what it was. I thought it was a sign, so there you go. Yeah, so everybody knows what sharrows is. Well,
I don't think so.
But because they're doing that here in Great Bend as well,
okay.
So now I know sharrows. I was thinking, never mind.
Just a simple painting on the road.
A simple painting on the.
So I think some of these improvements can come with simple paint. It doesn't all have to be infrastructure oriented, but in some cases, we have some sidewalks that are in really bad condition, and it might make sense to look at how we can upgrade those, or to develop segments of sidewalk that don't already exist. I mean, it can be a little bit of everything, but the nice thing is if we've got some cost estimates and an overall plan, we can break that down into stages that people are comfortable with and can afford.
Or lighting, if people aren't comfortable at certain times in the day because the lighting isn't efficient, or even park benches for people who can't walk that far at a time.
Okay. Now, gosh, you guys have so many things, initiatives going on, different programs that you've started, and how long now Stafford County Economic Development has been going?
2011 is when we really got going.
Okay, yeah. The response has got to be great, I would think. You set this organization up and people say, okay, here we go, we got this group. But now that, you got a housing project in Maxville. You've seen the different things that you're going. You've got a the revitalization of the studio downtown St. John. You're seeing some plans. That's got to be causing some excitement and getting some momentum going for your organization, I would think, Carolyn.
Well, I hope so. We keep plugging along, and we're also working on getting a port authority developed, and I hope that is one of those things that can be a catalyst to some, good growth. We have a new business coming to town this month, and I thought that was kind of something I'd mention too, is one of the things that is nice and visible in that it's building a new building right there on 281 Highway in St. John. It's K96 Agri Sales. And I talked with them this week, and they said that they're targeting February 1st for an open house. They talked a little bit about their plans that they'll sell center pivots, which is pretty obvious from the name of the business, but that they also do a lot of other service related to that. They like underground pipe and wire, fabricating fittings, construction, setting motors, working on submersible pumps, pulling wells.
Yeah, I know exactly where it was because that sign's been up there for a while. So that's cool. It's coming. It's coming.
Yes. He said that they're looking to hire 2 people that they haven't already identified. So if anyone is interested in those job opportunities, they might give them a call at 316-661-2281. They're looking for a parts person and a secretary office manager. And again, they're looking at around February 1 having an open house and getting going.
Have they got started then on starting to build it up now?
They are.
Okay.
And it looks like it's progressing pretty quickly.
Okay, because I haven't been down south here for about 2.5, 3 weeks maybe.
Well,
So
a lot has changed in just that amount of time.
See, if you miss 1 minute in St. John, you don't know how much is going to change in just a very short time. And again, goes back to what we've talked about it on the show today. It'd be lovely to come by and have 200 people come in all at once. But 1 and 2, and you just keep adding it up. You keep track of those totals or anything like that?
One of the things that I have kept track of this year and always will is school enrollment, because I think it's just one of the things that really drives, my personal passion in economic development. If we don't keep our schools going, then, that's, to me, the first nail in the coffin to really losing a lot of your community. And it's school enrollment that drives the finance of that. So St. John's enrollment was up 14 this year. And that's, to me, a really positive sign.
So 14. So that's going up and not the other way. So that is fantastic. Guys, thanks for coming by today. Sydney, good luck with your cooking classes. If you need me to show you how to make my homemade world-famous hash or the extra cheesy Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Thank you.
We'll add carrots to it.
Add carrots.
Carrots and a vegetable. That's all we need. Guys, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming in today, guys. Appreciate it. Carolyn Dunn joining us today, along with Sydney Blanton. She's program director at Stafford County Economic Development. Again, you can find them on Facebook or go to their website as well. Thanks for joining us today for Focus on Stafford County. News coming up next here on 1590 KVGB.